Hi, I'm Wendy Strgar, and thanks for joining us again for this Yoga for Sexual Health. And this is our second in the series for heart opening, which is really all about pelvic strength anyway. But you know, we said earlier, and I just feel like it's really important that to learn how to open up and feel in your chest and not be guarded in the front or completely constrained in the back will help you love more. And it'll help you make love better. So now we're going to do kind of some deeper poses, and she's going to give the instructions and cautions.
Yeah. So these are big back bends, and a couple things to be mindful of are just number one, and this is a great rule for any type of physical exercise or activity that you're doing, is if you start to feel pain, especially any kind of sharp shooting pain, stop. Right?
Yeah.
Just back off. There's no need to do it. But then particularly for these deep heart openers, if you have any dysfunction or injuries of the spine, you'll want to be really careful. There's a lot of spinal conditions where any kind of back bending is contraindicated. So if that's you, you'll want to just skip ahead to a different series. And then particularly, Wendy and I were just talking about how common it is for people to have neck injuries, whiplash, these kinds of things. So really, really, really important to turn up the volume of that little voice that lives in your neck. And if it's saying this is not okay, please don't push it.
Well, and you know, you always say that it's like you're not more enlightened if you look like Caitlin's pose. You know, you're more enlightened if you live in the pose you can do. You know, so maybe that's a much smaller thing, like where we started with Sphinx, or even a small cobra. You know,
yeah, so there's
you know, you're still doing the same strengthening. It's like the wisdom of this practice is in every level of the pose. And so even when you see the two of us do these things, she's going to demonstrate so we can see the beautiful full expression of the pose, and then she's going to show me, and my full expression is going to look really different because I don't have the same opening capacity, and yet I can still open and feel. So that's good to know that it can look really different.
Yeah.
So why don't you start?
So it's not about how it looks, it's about how it feels. All right, so here we go. This is where we start. And I'm going to extend the arms out into a Y position. So I'm going to scoop myself down. Okay, and it's important here that the shoulders are not scrunched up toward the ears, right? The shoulder blades are soft and down the back. And you're going to press down through the pads of the fingers rather than the palms, because it's just a different effect for the wrists, the elbows, and the shoulder joints. Okay, so the feet are sitting bone width apart. You can also do this with them all the way together, but we'll start hip width apart. And a nice big breath into the belly.
And you're already working here.
Exhale, well, not quite. On the exhale, I'm going to engage. Navel to spine, pelvic floor lifts in and up. Shoulder blades draw down, lats engage. Head lifts up, and I can slide my hands forward toward me, lifting the head. So a little bit different, but different from Sphinx in that the elbows are off the floor. I'm using strength through my arms.
And it's actually a lot of work. She doesn't look like it's a lot of work, but you really are working hard using these rhomboids and really holding from your pelvic floor, which is your foundation.
Well, and for a lot of people, it's hard to not do this.
Right?
So the whole shoulder girdle elevates, and we want to think about engaging the lat muscles, the tricep muscles. Okay, and then
and she can talk and do this because she's a yoga teacher, but I can't talk and do this. So, you know, I think let's give them a more sort of a different view.
Let's give your view.
Yeah.
All right, so extending the legs, extending the arms, taking that Y position, beautiful, and then rooting down through the pads of the fingers, and you might even want to spread the fingers a little bit, so it's like you're doing up. Yeah, great, good. Okay, so let's just take a moment to shrug the shoulders up and down, just to get those two extremes. Beautiful. Good. And then a nice big breath into the belly, softening first. Exhale, navel to spine, pelvic floor lifts in and up. Lats draw down, head floats up. You're watching that little ladybug crawl away. Oh, and look at that. Gorgeous strength all across the upper back. Lengthening up out through the crown of the head, and all the while she's breathing, navel to spine on the exhale. Inhale, focusing on lengthening. And I can see you're really working here. Your muscles are starting to tremble. So let's take one more breath, relaxing the glutes softly. Yeah, but keeping that pelvic floor connection as you lower all the way down, sliding the elbows in at your sides, and taking it back to child's pose. A lot of work.
Yeah, I can't possibly talk while I'm doing that.
It's probably for the best.
Yeah.
Focus on the breath. And
because you really have to really be engaging. And, you know, even you could see my shoulders were wanting to creep up. So really having to engage and really attending to this experience.
yes.
So anyway, I think that's a pretty fair estimation of the range. And some people actually are not even going to come up that high.
No.
You know, and
you've been practicing this for years,
well,
literally.
well, not quite years, but you know, for a long enough time that I was much lower when I started. So now we're going to show you a further extension that is kind of the full expression of this back bend on the belly. And I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it today, but Caitlin can do it.
Yeah,
so she's
going to demonstrate bow pose. And so a little disclaimer for this pose is if you lie on your belly, bend your knees, and you cannot reach your ankles comfortably, then you'll want to just do a repeat of Shalambhasana. So just go ahead and take yourself through this one more time.
Yeah, and actually, like, just even come up just a little bit on here. And so here's the thing. This can also be Shalambhasana.
Absolutely.
You know, and you're still actually getting all the benefits from all these places.
Very much so.
So
we're going to...
I think for the first year, I couldn't actually reach.
Yeah, and that's no problem.
Yeah.
So we're just tossing this out here. Explore if you like. Maybe you do a one-legged version. That's completely fine. Maybe you can grab both feet and we're reaching to the outer edges of the ankles. And we're going to do this with a flexed foot. This is going to protect the knee joints a little bit. We're going to draw the knees in towards center. So one thing that can be dangerous in this pose is if the knees come wide apart. And of course this is an exaggeration. But what this is going to do is it's going to compress into the lower back in kind of a bad way. So we want to keep the knees in line with the sitting bones.
So the inner thighs are drawing together.
Exactly. And you can even put a block or a little pillow between there. So what's happening with the shoulders is that kind of by nature and by position, they're already rounding and kind of squeezing together gently. Okay, so I'm going to take that same breath to prepare. Inhale into the low belly. Exhale, pressing the pubic bone into the earth, and then beginning to kick my feet into my hands, and then slowly hovering the head up. So I'm looking forward gradually, and we're still looking for that same line through the neck. So the back of my neck and the front of my neck are hopefully about similar in length. Does that look about right? So there's a lot of energy of my legs pushing in
and
to
so
my
you
hands.
can come way up like this if you're Caitlin, but I can't.
And then we come down, and this is where we get that kind of rush of blood to the pelvis.
So again, what's really kind of beautiful about these poses, no matter where you are, and I'll show you a different range, is that you are really feeding the pelvic floor as you're opening your heart.
Absolutely, yeah.
So, okay.
Okay, so we'll bend the knees, then reach for the ankles or the tops of the feet. Great. Just drawing the knees together, we're going to take a nice big breath in to prepare and listen to your body. Exhale, navel to spine, kicking into the feet as you lift the head. Shoulder blades slide down the back and the heart shines forward. Yes. Holding maybe one more breath. And then exhale as you lower down and taking child's pose. And also another note about breath.
So you can see how much lower I was than where you were. And, you know, that was still a lot of work.
It was a lot of work. And what I wanted to mention about breath is that that's a great indicator, especially in some of these deep heart opening poses, that if you notice your breath becoming really constricted, that is good information that perhaps you need to back off and take it a little bit less.
Yeah, and so a lot of times actually when this is going on in class, I'll just stop. The class is still going and I'll stop and I'll just do Shalambhasana or some other thing that is in my range.
Yeah.
So really for heart opening, it's just like loving people. You can't make yourself love people more. You know, you can't, you know, I mean, really, this is an incredible lesson about love, is that if you try to force these, you know, it's just like trying to force a relationship. It doesn't work.
And you're hurt.
Yeah, you're just going to be hurt. So I think actually if you can't breathe, you can't do it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
But the physiological benefits, kind of flip side of this, is that it's really energizing. It's really opening.
Yeah. Yeah.
I feel different even after doing
Yeah,
that,
no,
so.
and it actually is strengthening, and there's so many great reasons to do it. So anyway, join us again for the next one, and we'll be right back. Thanks.